Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 BMW 430i Coupe. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This 430 is finished off in mineral white metallic. MSRP is just over $58,000. Now this is powered by the 2-liter twin power turbo inline 4-cylinder. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. This model is rear-wheel drive. It weighs in just over 3,500 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons. You'll expect to see around 25 miles per gallon in the city, 34 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 112.2 inches. Its overall length is 188. It has a width of 72.9 and a height of 54.6 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this 430, let's start off with the kidney grille because it has a lot of brushed aluminum accents throughout the entire front end. There's also parking sensors and active grille shutters. So the sections behind the actual grille will open up to provide additional cooling to that engine when needed. This also has a dark set of LED headlight housings with the DRLs and turn signals. There's more gloss black accents in the lower section, along with fog lights that are tucked away nicely. There's also air inlets on the far corners too, and a little smiley face right in the middle with more cutouts. And then there's a few lines that come down the hood just to give it a very nice front end design. This model has the M Sport package as well, so that provides it with all of the gloss black, as well as the gloss black for these 19-inch wheels with the M Sport brake calipers just behind that. There's some very nice indentions in the lower side skirt there, and then gloss black for the side mirrors that do have the turn signal. Along with that M Sport package, there's the M Sport Pro package, Premium package, and the Shadowline package as well. It provides it with the sunroof. All of the window trim is blacked out too, and it has a very nice coupe design to it for this 4 Series. Now in back, there's the very small trunk-mounted spoiler, backup camera, LED taillights, and then all the parking sensors with some great trim in that lower diffuser, and then that dual exhaust. We can remote start this, so just triple tap that button and it will fire up. As you can hear, it's not all that loud. You can triple tap on that button to shut it off as needed. You can also use the key fob or the button up underneath to open up this trunk lid. And now in back, for being a two-door vehicle, it actually has a decent amount of space. So there's a storage bin on that left side, as well as over on the right side, and you can even fold down the back seats. So just pull on these tabs, and that gives you a lot more practicality for the size of this vehicle. Now there's no power operation for that trunk, but it is very lightweight, so that is easy to close. So again, for the size of this two-door sports car, you have a lot of space, including the back seats, which we will get to here. For this interior, very nice contrast with the white. There's memory seating controls, brushed aluminum, carbon carbon for the audio, and then storage down below and all of the window adjustments. And then as we work our way to the back seats, there is a release on the back side of that seat. Once you push that backrest forwards, the entire seat will work its way forwards to give you that space to hop into the back. Now this is a 4-seater, and as you can tell, there's plenty of legroom. There's also climate adjustments with your temperatures, a little bit of storage along with an armrest. And then as far as headroom goes, my head is just up against the headliner. I could ride around town or a little bit longer than that, maybe not a long road trip, but it is comfortable for full-size adults to be in the back. Right in the middle, there's the armrest as well as the 2 cup holders, and then you can even fold down this middle seat as well. So if you need to put in some longer items, or maybe you want a little bit higher of an armrest, you can easily do that. And then we have very large windows on both sides. So it is very practical for both extra storage and having people in the back. When you put the backrest back, the seat is going to work its way into its original position. And then the steering wheel is solid leather with the M badge. It is heated. Cruise control settings are on this left side. Right side, there's volume and tuning, as well as Bluetooth and voice commands. This also has paddle shifters too. But let's start this back up, and we can go over the gauge cluster now, where you can use the control over here. By pushing on that, we can now pull up content that we can scroll through. So you have a lot that you can look at, just depending on what you need to see for the day. You can go through all of this. There's also a few different layouts that you can go through too. So just depending on how you want to view this information. And then the last one is for the head-up display. So you can look at your miles per hour, speed limit sign. You can also pull up the compass. You have sport view for the tach, and then reduced view just shows miles per hour and the speed limit sign. Now on this left side, there's all the headlight adjustments and the fog light controls. There's one air vent. You'll also notice too that when you do shut the door, the seatbelt is actually brought to you. So if I open the door back up, that is going to go away, and then this just makes it much easier to reach when you are ready to go. Now for the infotainment system, you have a lot to go through on the home screen here, and you can even add widgets as needed. And then on this left side, all of those are presets to quickly get into this info, where you do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and several other icons that you can quickly go into. And then there's also the shortcuts on this left side to further get through that. And you can even get into your heated seats and your climate adjustments with the control in the middle. And then temperature dials are on both sides. Now this model also has this optional trim piece that you'll notice on the dash. It's also on all of the controls down below, where you can also control the infotainment system with all of these shortcuts. So you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. You have those controls too, which is nice. Now there's two air vents underneath that, power and volume and tuning, along with some recircs. Wireless charging is in that back area where there's also auxiliaries and cup holders, and then you can cover it up with more of that trim. To put this into reverse, we will just push that forwards, where this has the backup camera, and then there's also drive and sport mode. Park is located on the back side there. And then there's traction control with parking sensors and the engine start stop. And there's also a few different driving modes for this 430. There's sport mode, as well as comfort, and then Eco Pro. So that's going to modulate the throttle just depending on how you're driving for the day. And then there's auto hold and the e-brake just behind that. A little bit of storage with an auxiliary in the middle, and then the glove box also has plenty of space for additional items down below. Now there's also garage door buttons underneath, and then the dome lights and the sunshade and sunroof, which are both automatic. So those controls are located up top. And as far as visibility goes, you have very thin pillars. The windows in the back are extremely large, so it's definitely easy to see in both directions. As we set off now behind the wheel for the 430i, I'm not in this model hardly ever, so it's really cool to check this out and see what it has to offer. Let's go ahead and just put it into sport mode right off the bat and put it into the manual setting. Wow, I am impressed with this 2-liter 4-cylinder. If you're not looking to get that extra power, a lot of people like to get a sports car like this, but they're not necessarily interested in more horsepower. They like the looks and the feel of the vehicle. They just don't need that extra step. This is a great option to go with, and I am impressed with how peppy this is. It is not a slow vehicle by any means, so you don't have to go with more power. But if you also just want better fuel economy, you are going to get that with the smaller engine. So it is still an efficient engine to go with if you don't want some of the M versions for the 4 Series. So I am impressed with that. You can obviously put it into comfort or eco mode to get a little bit less throttle response, and those are all functional. So it just depends on the driving that you're doing for the day, and even pulling out into traffic, I have no complaints with that. So power is very, very impressive for this. But as far as driving the 430i, I've been in several BMWs, so this is going to drive very similar. And we do have the M Sport package on this too. So we do have some upgraded performance goodies, which is very cool to see. So you can get the brakes if you want, better stopping power, things like that. This is still going to handle very nicely. So I like that BMW can incorporate a lot of those sporty characteristics into a vehicle and still give you the engine option that you want to go with. But as far as driving this, it's what you would expect from a 4 Series from BMW. It's very comfortable. We have a large truck passing. You can hear it a little bit, but it's still a nice place to be. Something that you could absolutely daily drive. This would be a great vehicle to drive a lot. We have a lot of nice technology features to make this a great daily, and it's also practical too. So if you're just looking for one vehicle, you want a 2-doored vehicle, but you want something that is going to have the back seats, give you some more practicality, it's a great option to go with. And from second gear, here we go. Shifts are also very quick, so I'm impressed with how smooth they are, both on the upshifts and the downshifts. So you have, again, that BMW performance with even shifting this vehicle and still having fun with the paddles that are available. And so we'll give it another quick acceleration here. I'd say it sounds very good too. In sport mode, you can hear a little bit of that exhaust. So it definitely adds to the sportiness with having that. But here's what it's like to be behind the wheel for the 430i. Very nice interior. We do have some options that you can not get if you don't want. Wireless charging is an option. Harman Kardon, of course, is an option too. So you can spec this out the way that you would like to, of course, with the options that you are going to use. And so you're going to get a vehicle that you can just drive all the time and have that luxury focused sports car look with a little bit of that performance as well. And I just like the sizing of this. This is very comfortable, and it would be a great two-door sports car that has the practicality if this is all you are looking for. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2024 BMW 430i. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.